No such thing as rape culture. Okay? No such thing as rape culture. Does not exist. And it's something that women, particularly feminists, it's a phrase and a term that they use to perpetuate basically man hate, right? This is basic cultural Marxism, which is what these liberals, these far left, these wacko, weirdo, radical feminists, this is what they do. They create terms such as rape culture, patriarchy, toxic masculinity, right? They create these terms, these buzzwords, and they repeat them like a mantra. Like, it's very similar to, I mean, it's a cult. It's a cult. It's very similar to like the KKK or something, right? They create these ideas that certain races are evil, etc., right? And they use buzzwords and they use these phrases to, rah, 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 and rally the troops and get people pumped up. And it's the same with any like religious group. You take a concept, you take a phrase, and you repeat it over and over again. And what that does is it brainwashes the listener. What that does is it programs the listener to think and believe a certain way. This is textbook propaganda, textbook brainwashing, textbook, cult behavior, or it's almost like religion behavior, right? So they take the word or the term rape culture, or they take the term toxic masculinity, or they take the term patriarchy, and they just repeat it until it becomes. I don't think they even think about what it is. They don't discuss, what it is. They just repeat these phrases, like their mantras, whatever, and they just use that as fuel to attack. It's like, if you actually study feminism, it really is just basic cult-like behavior. Same as KKK. It's the same thing. And actually, feminism is more insidious. People on the left, they hate racism, right? They hate, anything that has to do with racism, the Ku Klux Klan. They hate all that, right? But they don't understand that they themselves behave in the same way. It's tribalism. It's like, no, my group is better than your group. Our beliefs are better than your beliefs. And if you don't agree with me, I'm going to yell at you. And I'm going to systematically try to attack you. I'm going to systematically try to shut you down. I'm going to dox you. I'm going to expose you. I'm going to take screenshots of things that you said, and I'm going to, send them to your work and try to get you fired. I mean, that's militant type shit. You're playing with people's lives just because they don't believe the same thing as you. Now, do I think racism is okay? I think that it's a bad thing. I'll say that. Racism is negative. Racism, in my view, is not okay. But how you react to somebody who's racist, for example, is a problem. Like, somebody might genuinely be misogynistic or chauvinistic, but what do? You get back at them by attacking them. You get back at them by, trying to ruin their life. Like, what does that make you? That makes you a insidious person. That makes you a dangerous person. Violence or ruining someone's life is not really the answer. How about you just live your life? You know what I mean? I think just people are too bored. Like, this is, when society gets opulent, when society gets, too comfortable, right? They need something to hate. They need something to rally against. And it's just like, just be positive, do something with your life. But and I've broken this down on my channel a million times, as far as feminism goes. Feminism is a system, even, I would say, you even use that word system, that really systematically benefits women who play into it, because why? Because there's benefits, there's social leverage, there's financial, political leverage in playing victim. Oh, we're the victim. It's sick when you really, really think about it, when you really understand it. It gets sick. Like, so, this thing such as rape culture. Well, what does that do? Rape culture. What does that term mean? What does that do? Right? It demonizes men. There's no such thing. Well, first of all, it's wrong. It's a lie. It's false. There's no such thing as a rape culture. Meaning, here I have the definition of the word culture. And I looked up the word culture itself. It's not quite the right meaning, so I looked up the term social culture, which is more fitting, right, for this definition of rape culture. A social culture is a term related to social and cultural factors, which means common traditions, habits, patterns, and beliefs present in a population group. So let's take that definition and apply it to the term rape culture. That would mean that there would have to be a tradition of being okay with rape, a habit and a pattern and belief system put in place in a population group or a societal group that would be okay with rape. And there's no such thing. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. Does not exist in America. Maybe in Islam, that's arguable, right? I mean, I think that they can get away with rape in certain for real misogynistic countries, but for real misogynistic beliefs. Now, if you're a Muslim, I don't mean to offend you. It's just, look at the facts. In certain countries, you can actually get away with rape. In certain countries, if you're a female and you get raped, I think the man has to marry you or something like that. That's a real rape culture. That's a real tradition. No such thing in America. No such thing. No such thing. No such thing in the Western world. Sorry to say. Maybe some places in Africa. I don't know. Right? I'm sure you could Google it and find that out very quickly. No such thing in America. There's no such thing as rape culture. Rape is illegal. I spelled that word rape wrong right there. Rape is illegal, and no one is okay with it besides rapists themselves. And I highly, highly, highly doubt that they band together, because that would be very stupid, because that would put them at risk for getting snitched on or someone telling on them. So there's no such thing. It just does not exist. It's not existent. Okay, the term and concept of rape culture is preposterous, and it's used as a weapon by feminists to attack men in general and the quote-unquote patriarchy, another made-up term. This is wrong. Again, these are terms that are made up to demonize men in general. This is how feminists roll. Men in the red pill arena and the manosphere in general, we need to understand that our biggest enemy really is feminism. Marxism, feminism, liberalism, radical feminism, radical Marxism, radical liberalism, radical, the alt-left, all these radicals. This is radical stuff. Why is it radical? Because look at how they behave. They behave militantly. They behave sick. And there's nothing cultured about, cultured the right word. There's nothing, there's nothing peaceful about that. That's subversive. There's nothing, classy. There's nothing, that's not the right word. There's nothing, there's a word that I'm looking for. It's civil. There we go. There's nothing civil about that. There's nothing civil about saying men are rapists. That is an insidious allegation. That is, particularly in the context that it's used, rape culture, meaning there's a culture that okays rape, meaning that men by culture are okay with rape. What? I mean, that is insidious. And particularly even to tell a young girl that. To tell a young girl who's newly a feminist, because, feminism on the surface, it sounds great. Oh, we want equality. We're all about equality. But then when you get into what they actually talk about, when you get into their ranks and you listen to them talk, it's just man hate and it's lies. Okay, it's just like the patriarchy, as if there's some concerted conspiracy of men who got together and said, hey, we're going to keep women out of the workforce. We're going to keep women. It's like, no. Men just worked. We built the world. We built all the nations, and women didn't, for the most part. I'm sure. I mean, they were involved. They helped, and some of them held high positions. And That's just a fact. Men didn't do that in a conspiratorial way. We did it because it was necessary. We did it because it's part of evolution. It's part of human adaptation. It's just what it is. If women could have done it, they would have done it. There was no concerted, unspoken. This is what women act like. They act like there's this concerted, homogenous agreement that men everywhere came together to keep women out of positions of power and to rule the world. And it's like, that's just stupid. It's just dumb. It's like, what are we, evil arch, nemesis of women or something? Like we're a James Bond villain collective. We're like Cobra and G.I. Joe. It's just downright silly. It just gets downright silly when you really think about all these implications and when you think about what they do. So first of all, when they attack the patriarchy, right, they're basically attacking the power structure. They're trying to undermine and subvert the power structure. This affects young women and men. Okay, young women, they lose their respect for men. They don't hold the family unit important because men are leaders of the family unit, therefore men are evil, and therefore they're trying to rule over you. The irony is they still seek out men who have money. The irony is they still seek out men who have mortgages. The irony is they still seek out men for leadership. They can't fake their female. They can't fake their nature, their biology. They can't fake that. They still are attracted to strong men who are leaders, who have resources. Sorry, that's your frickin' biology. Your biology is telling you that your feminist cult camp group is a fucking phony group. Your biology is telling you that. Your biology is exposing you, first of all. Second of all, they want to say that masculinity is toxic. So what does that do? So not only are they attacking our leadership, not only are they undermining what we've built, which is society, they are attacking our nature. What does toxic masculinity mean? Toxic masculinity means masculine nature is toxic. It means that we as men are toxic. Okay. What's the last thing? I mean, what does that do? What does that do? If you attack male nature, then what does that do? Then kids grow up thinking male nature is evil. I shouldn't be masculine. I shouldn't be a strong man. I should act more feminine. Get in touch with your feminine side. Woo, 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 right? What does that do? That undermines our very nature as men. That's insidious. And then we have this rape culture term, which basically says, so not only are men in a concerted effort to rule over the world, rule over, women in an evil way, not only that, our nature is toxic. Masculinity, which is what we are, we're masculine because we're males. Sorry, we just are by nature. That's toxic. Now we've got a rape culture. So not only are we evil and toxic, we are also rapists. I mean, think about that. Think about that trifecta and just ponder that for a second. What in the hell are these crazy radical feminists teaching young women? They're teaching them that men are completely evil. Of course, so no wonder these young feminist women hate men. Of course they're scared of us and want to, kill us and want to kill our babies and want to get us arrested and all this Me Too crap. Of course, because we're evil in their mind. This is insidious subversion, right? This is insidious propaganda that is subverting young women's minds to hate men, to be afraid of men, to not trust men. That's sick, man. I think that's satanic. I think that is something that is patently evil. And I'll say it again, guys in the red pill arena and guys in the manosphere in general need to understand that feminism is probably our biggest enemy. Feminism, Marxism, and liberalism, they all go hand in hand. They're all kind of associated and attached to each other. These groups and the way they think is really just against us as men in general. And this is the proof. We got this trifecta of propaganda that they're inundating and they're brainwashing these young women with. And these are our daughters. These are our girlfriends and wives and potential, lovers, potential women, potential mothers, potential women who are going to bear our children. What kind of children are they going to raise, right? Radical feminism came in the 1990s. That's third wave feminism. Okay, second wave feminism was getting there. It was getting radicalized. That was in the 1960s and 70s. What was the result of that? All kinds of divorce, all kinds of problems from promiscuity and drugs and things like that, right? This is all insidious, man. This isn't, you're not free. You're not more free when you hate men. You're not more free when you go out and have sex. You're more bound in a way. So you went from, I don't want to be an object, I don't want to be a sex object, to just using sex to get what you want, to really being a sex object. I mean, it's just stupid. It really is stupid, and it's sad, and it's sick, and again, just can't underscore this enough. Men in the manosphere need to understand that feminism is probably our biggest enemy. It's probably our biggest enemy. Basically, it says that we're rapists by culture, we're toxic by nature, and that the fact that we lead and we're successful is due to a conspiracy, an evil conspiracy. I mean, that is crazy. And this is what we have, right? And we need to understand that. We need to be educated, and we need to educate each other that this is what we're up against. All right, so I just want to make this quick little video. Obviously, it's not quick now, but anyway, I hope that we can all learn, and that we would be equipped and fortified to stand against this insidiousness. And unfortunately, their fathers don't know. Second wave feminism was a doozy, and a lot of these young women, their mothers were ruling over their father, and that's where it really gets bad, man. It really gets bad in the household. Where the mother really runs the show. The dad pays all the bills. He's basically just a walking ATM, and the mother really runs the show. She makes all the decisions, and the daughter sees this, and she grows up to manipulate men just like her mother manipulated her father. And the father has no leadership. He has no say because he's toxic. His masculinity is toxic, and he's part of the patriarchy. So therefore, the mother could never respect him, and if he messes up or tries to rule or something, she'll just divorce him and take half his money. So it's a messed up game, man. And we need to be educated that particularly the fathers, particularly guys out there listening that are fathers to daughters, raise your daughters different, man. Raise your daughters different for the next generation. Don't let them become liberals. Don't let them become Democrats. Don't let them become feminists. No. And I would say be very wary and be very careful of letting your daughters go off to university, because that's where the Marxism indoctrination comes in. A lot of these girls go off to university and they get indoctrinated by some of these sick teachers. That's not a coincidence, man. I believe it's a conspiracy. I believe that these teachers, these professors, these liberal feminist professors are there to indoctrinate these young girls and mess them up. It messes their life up. So be very, very careful where you send your daughter for university. Anyway, that's all I got to say, guys. Been another Jay Lee Northwest podcast. Thanks for listening. Peace.